Good morning. It's 11 a.m. This is Fridays with Flanagan. Every Friday we broadcast live. Fridays, 11 a.m. across 3 or 4 different social media platforms. We use StreamYard. So if you're not familiar with StreamYard, jump into StreamYard and we'll be able to see who you are. And as we go down into the private chat, we can understand who's here, who's not here. If you can hear me, do me a favor. Just say, "Hey, Greg, how you doing?" in the chat. We had a little audio last week. I had a little dragging to this morning, and I think we fixed it. Hopefully we did, and you're hearing good sound, and everything's good there. So just give me a hands up if you're in there and you can hear me. Okay. Crickets. Yeah, I can see a comment. Good morning, Greg. Okay, fabulous. I appreciate that. Okay, today is all about, and my assistant, there she is. She just popped back on. She got thrown off. God, I was worried. So, welcome to Fridays with Flanagan. I'm Greg Flanagan. We do this every Friday, 11 o'clock to 11:30. We talk about what's happening during the week, some skills, a little bit of this, a little bit of Flanagan colloquialisms. If you're looking for that polished, other than my head, you're probably going to miss it a little bit. I come from the heart. I come from authenticity, and I want to pass that on to you. My goal in life is to make better real estate agents. Okay? Thank you. I appreciate that. My goal is to make better real estate agents, more professional real estate agents. We have a lot of fun when I have a lot of fun when I'm not with a client. But when I'm with a client, I'm very, very professional. Okay, I want them to understand that I know what I'm talking about and know where I'm going. And that's what I want to offer to you folks on a weekly basis, if not a daily basis, depending on what our relationship is. So today's title was David beat Goliath, and so can you. Does anybody know where that title came from? And what I was referring to. And excuse the noise, they're cutting trees down in the back here. Anybody know what I was referring to when I said David beat Goliath and so can you? It was in the news. A lot of it was in the news yesterday. We'll see in a bit. All right. There was exactly, right on the money, okay? Now, I want to tell you right off the bat, Zillow is a brokerage in my MLS. Zillow is now a brokerage, registered broker with NAR, National Association of Realtors. National Association of Realtors, their code of conduct says that we cannot disparage Zillow. As much as you'd like to scream and yell and call them all kinds of bad names, we can't do that because now they are realtors. Got it? So if you're a realtor, those are your code of ethics. Please refrain from beating them up so you avoid a fine, expulsion, whatever else they're going to do to you. It doesn't mean that we have to stop competing with them and have strategies around competing with them. So let me go real quick. Who was David and who was Goliath? Back in the, way back in, the Philistines and the Israelites were having a war, and they had this war for hundreds of years, from what I understand. And I'm not a theologian or a scholar or anything like that. I just know it's the story. And they were having this war, and to end this war, everybody was tired. To end this war, they said, "Send out your best warrior." So the Israelites, the only guy they could find was this little guy David. Nobody else would go out. This little guy David, and all David had was a slingshot and a bag of rocks. Well, the Philistines, they sent out this giant, this guy Goliath. And Goliath came out with his big shield and his big sword. Okay? And they were going to do battle. The person that lost would give up the land that they were fighting over, and the others would be the victors. So they met on the battlefield. Goliath starts charging at David. Well, David's just this little runty guy, right? He's just this little small guy who's got a slingshot. And Goliath's got his shield up and he's wielding his sword and he's running towards David. And David acted pretty quickly. He identified a weakness, and he focused on that weakness, and he took a slingshot and hit Goliath square in the middle of the head. Right? Now, Goliath went down like a rock. Goliath dies. The Israelites win the war. Right? We take a lot of lessons from this. And it was a very short parable, but we take a lot of lessons. Okay? And the four that I want you to go through is, the first one, let's call them David's strategies. Right? David's strategies. He went out there, he was the underdog. Would you agree he was the underdog? He was the underdog. He went out there with this little slingshot and a bag of rocks against this giant, this behemoth. So the first one is, come with speed and agility. It always beats the size. Speed and agility beats size. How is that? David came out, hit him in the head with a slingshot, and got the heck out of there. Goliath fell. Goliath was lumbering towards him. Right? Everything Goliath did, he had to take purposeful steps. David weaved, he bobbed, bing! Speed and agility. How can we do that as small business people, as real estate agents? Think about it. You can learn pretty quickly how to do something. And you can also learn from a failure that happened very quickly and change direction. You can pivot quickly. Spending money, you got the wrong ad up, take it down and redo it. If one of these behemoths, the Goliaths of the industry, does something wrong, it's like a battleship. It's going to, not a battleship, but a aircraft carrier. It's going to take a long time to turn that boat. You, on the other hand, speed and agility, boom, you can turn and pivot in a matter of a couple of minutes because you don't need the permission from the big guys upstairs. Okay, you identify, move. Speed and agility will beat size every day of the week. So that's one. Two, precision matters, right? Here comes Goliath, and what does David do? Precision. He takes that little slingshot, hits him square in the forehead, knocks him down. And I think that's another thing. We have to focus. We have to laser focus on who we're dealing with. Okay, we have to laser focus on who we're dealing with. If you know me, you know I'm a listing agent. You have to focus on listings to make your way in this world of real estate, simply because everybody can get a buyer. Buyers are easy. Buyers take 6 months to close. A listing only takes a matter of 3 hours, and then it's nothing but technical stuff, which can be leveraged to somebody else. So don't shotgun your entire... David didn't sit there. He had a whole bag of rocks. He didn't sit there and just start pulling it without focusing on where he wanted to go and what he wanted to hit. Do the same thing. Follow David's rule. Be precision. Make that precision hit the middle of his head, and look for your listings, because what you focus on, right? What is it? What you focus on increases, right? It becomes more true. So the next one is look for ways to disrupt the status quo. Break the rules. Break the rules. It's one of the things that David did. He brought a slingshot to a hand-to-hand combat, right? They weren't ready for his slingshot. They were waiting for swords. I think the best one here is the most recent is Indiana Jones, right? He's in there and he's fighting, and they're surrounding him, and finally he pulls out his gun and he says, "Who brings a gun to a knife fight?" And he blows the guy away. That was a great time. How do you do it? You got to think outside the box. You got to be creative. Okay, break the rules. I know agents here. They're running food trucks into the neighborhood on a Thursday afternoon, Monday afternoon. What day doesn't mom want to cook? Run a food truck in there. It's going to help the food truck guy, which is great. You really don't have to follow the rules, so stay with that. Stay with not following the rules. It's going to make... You're going to be able to react faster to those rules. The final thing is technology. But Greg, the big guy already has that technology. Yeah, they do. But can you use it better? Can you do your things better? Do you have a CRM? Can you walk a CMA over to a house that they've lived there for 30 years. That's something their technology doesn't know. They don't know who's behind that door. You do if you're working that neighborhood. So innovate with cutting technology. I don't know if CMAs are cutting technology, but we still go back to what we do every day, and that is to bring as much technology as we can to our people. CMAs, CRMs, use Mojo for dialing your sphere of influence. You don't have to use Mojo for outside, cold calling, but use it for your sphere of influence so you get through them quicker. You should be calling, in this day and age with COVID out there, you should be calling your SOI every month. Hey, how you doing? This is Greg. Anybody you know that's looking to buy or sell real estate? Do you have any real estate needs? What are your plans for this year as far as real estate needs? Use that technology to get to your clientele. So anybody got anything to say about Zillow purchasing showing time or any questions about Zillow that I can answer? I've done a lot of reading on it. I've listened to a lot of the experts on it. And almost to a person, they all go back to saying, so what? So what? We've been disrupted before, right? Right before, my father was in the real estate business, 35 years ago. And he was with the gold coat guys. Back those days, you had to walk into an office to look through a big listing book, right? And the listing agent might pay the buyer's agent. Well, that got disrupted, right? It got disrupted with multiple listing services going onto the web. I don't feel that this is going to happen here. We're not going away. We're solo agents. We're small business people. We will persevere because we don't need 1,000 people to be our clients. Okay, we need 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 to be our clients to make a healthy living in this market. And I can assure you can do it. And that's important to know and understand. Some of the ways, that you can work on that is make sure you have a plan. Make sure you have a business plan. Make sure you follow your plan. The Marines have a great saying, the 7 Ps. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. Sorry about the third one. But proper planning always is going to beat anything else. Make goals. Put your goals down. If they aren't written down, they're only hopes and dreams, right? You need to put your goals down and look at them every day. If you need to, write them on the bathroom mirror, put them on your hand. Years ago, we had, I think it was Floyd Wickman. They had us put them on an 8.5 by 11. We carried those around on a keychain, laminated. It was until you got those goals in your heads. Master your scripts. Master your conversations. Understand what you need for conversations and master them. Happy to help you with that, on the other side. Make appointments. Appointments are for people. Each side knows that it's an appointment, and each side knows what it's for. If the appointment is simply coffee, that's fine. That's an appointment. Okay. As long as you're bringing up and asking that client, buddy, whoever it is, how can I help you in your real estate needs? What are your plans for real estate this year? Do you know anybody that has plans for real estate this year? That's what you want to do, and that's what you want to extract out of that. Prospect every day. Cannot say this enough. Whether you're prospecting is door knocking, telephone calling, belly to belly, you've got to reach a certain amount of people per day. Jeff Glover, great guy, great school, great coach, right? He's been doing this business for quite a while. And he always says the amount of new people you talk to every day are the amount of deals you're going to do at the end of the day, at the end of the year. That's how many closings you're going to. So if you're talking to one person a day, you're going to do one deal for the rest of for the entire year. If you're talking to 20 a day, real conversations about real estate, you're going to close 20 homes because the activity breeds the closings. You talk to 20 people 5 days a week, it's 100 a week, that's 5,200 a year. Where do you think you're going to be? You're going to be at just about 1% of those people. 1% of 5,200 is 52 homes. Think about that. Think about that. That is great. Yeah, that's right. 52 times, 100 is 5,200. That's 52 homes. Do it. Prospect every day. Make time block, right? Time block, time block, time block. Self-mastery, 80-20 principle. It's all about time blocking. Prospect every day. Promote your testimonials. Now listen, I know a lot of people send out requests for testimonials. There's a way to beat this. You do the testimonial and say, Bob, you know what? And send it to your client. Go, I know you're busy, and I know I've asked you for this 3 times, but here's what I've heard you say to me, and I've taken a couple of excerpts from your email and that kind of thing. Would this work for a testimonial for you? Oh yeah, it will. Super. Would you post it under this link? And you can do that, and it's quite fine. It's quite fine. Yep, it's quite fine. So promote those testimonials. Hey, listen to what these people said about me. That's great. I helped X, Y, and Z buy, sell, look for an investment, whatever it is. If you haven't sold anything else, what do? Get your testimonials. You've done something good in life. Somebody wants to say, hey, if you're from another business and they wrote you a good LinkedIn job, use that one. Promote it. Promote that you're ethical, that you're vibrant, that you're energetic. Whatever they're saying about you, promote that, because that's you. That's your brand. That's what got people excited about you in the first place. Okay, use that. Use it. Very, very, put it on your website. Have a local website. The ones we use and the ones your brokerage give you. Have a little WordPress website. That'll carry that and link into that. Stay local. Stay local, stay macro. Work within a neighborhood. Get to know those people in the neighborhood. Have them get to know you. Become the mayor of that neighborhood. And how do you do that? Everything we've discussed over the weeks. And just keep loving on that neighborhood. Whether it's 100, 200, 300, 400, love on that neighborhood. Love hard and love often. And finally, bring value in the way of free weekly, monthly reports. There's nothing more. I was talking to one of our agents the other day. Years ago, I ran for and was elected mayor of a small village in upstate New York. And I'm talking 30 years ago, right? I'm talking 30 years ago. And I gave out these little magnets. They were cheap, little, thin magnets. It had 5 telephone numbers on it. Now listen. It had the fire department, the police department, I think the village office, my phone number, and poison control. And to this day, I still get screenshots from people in that village in upstate New York, which I haven't been to in 25 years. They still say, "Hey, Greg, we still got this magnet." How powerful is that? How powerful is that you have magnets floating around? And I've still got magnets here. I use them in my daily business. I don't have any right handy. But you know what? Kitchen measurements. Who's not going to hang your face on their refrigerator for kitchen measurements? 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon and all that good stuff. Quarts. It's a great way to stay present in a local community's mind. What's it going to cost you? Maybe a couple $100. It's sure better than spending a couple $100 for a bunch of people that want to look at a website but they don't want to talk to you. Right? That's just money out the door. That's not a hard thing to do. Don't buy a tchotchke. They throw pens away. People used to love my pens. I spent a lot of money on pens. Never wrote a deal with one of my own pens. Didn't work. I've written deals with my magnets. Okay? Because it stayed in front of them all the time. Pens run out of ink. What was the last thing I wanted to share with you? So get something in their house. Bring them something of value. What was the last thing I wanted to say? I lost it. Anyway, you see what I'm saying? You've got to be the mayor of that neighborhood. Focus, identify it, going back through speed, agility, precision, break the rules, technology. Those are all things David did thousands of years ago to disrupt Goliath. So, any questions? I hope you gained some value today. It was a little off the mark, but I wanted to address the acquisition of Showing Time. Don't let that stop you. Don't let that bother you. There's going to be more down the road. People acquire other people for different reasons. You know, as far as why they did it, who cares? Do they have your data? You know what? They don't need your data. They don't need your data. I can get the entire Charleston County where I live without ever acquiring data from another source other than, you know, a listserv, right? I can get all that stuff. So it's not about the data. It's about trending, maybe. It's about they needed a system that was cheaper than if they built their own. That's my opinion. Data is a big thing right now, but I think it was more about systems. Same reason they bought Dotloop. They needed a system. They needed a signing system, so they bought it. You know, they bought it. Don't get all up in arms. Keep at it. You know, you want a great book. What is that book that I was... The Untethered Soul. You really want to get calm? You want to get into the Zen? Read The Untethered Soul. That's... I'm going to type it in here because I don't think I told Nathana. The Untethered Soul. It's kind of a... it's a little bit new age, but I'll tell you what. It'll clear your mind. It'll clear your mind. It'll give you some reasoning behind it. It's a great little book. All right. Anything else I can do for you? Any questions? Great. Wonderful. I'm glad you guys showed up. I appreciate every one of you. As we go into February, we're going to start opening up for our Power Onward network. The website's almost done. If you can pop on there now and see it, but it's not allowing you into the resources. I have a lot of resources that are going to be on this website, and those resources are going to be the systems, the models, what I use, actual forms that I use and have used in the past, other top agents. And it's a lot of it's my own stuff, but a lot of it is just curated to help other people move on. If you need anything, give me a holler. I love you all for joining in, and we'll see you next Friday. All right? Have a great day.